राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा लाउड जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. गांधर्वे का घेरे धारे, गांधर्वे का घेरे धारे, गांधर्वे का घेरे धारे, गौर हरे, गांधर्वे का घेरे धारे, जय गौरनिताय, गौरनिताय, जय गौरनिताय, जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद। युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I don't know why this has been switched off. Can somebody call Prabhuji from inside? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatya Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So welcome all to this Janamashtami meditation series. This is the last session before Janamashtami. We've been working from last 5 or 6 weeks to build our consciousness, prepare our consciousness for the Janamashtami celebrations. Today, what are we trying to discuss? Can anyone tell me? We are trying to discuss the pastime of Govardhan. So there is this one very nice verse which we can all recite together. It glorifies Govardhan. This is from a chapter 10:21-18. Gopis glorify the song of the flute of Lord Krishna. That is the chapter name. Please try to recite with me. But first listen to the recitation and then try to follow. hantāyam adrir abalā hari-dāsa-varyo. Right? hantāyam adrir abalā hari-dāsa-varyo. Yad rāma-kṛṣṇa-caraṇa-sparaśa-pramodaḥ. Very good. mānaṁ tanoti saha-go-gaṇayos tayor. pānīya-sūyavasa-kandara-kandamūlaiḥ. Once more we'll recite. hantāyam adrir abalā hari-dāsa-varyo. Yad rāma-kṛṣṇa-caraṇa-sparaśa-pramodaḥ. mānaṁ tanoti saha-go-gaṇayos tayor. pānīya-sūyavasa-kandara-kandamūlaiḥ. One last time, little louder, all of you. hantāyam adrir abalā hari-dāsa-varyo. Yad rāma-kṛṣṇa-caraṇa-sparaśa-pramodaḥ. mānaṁ tanoti saha-go-gaṇayos tayor. pānīya-sūyavasa-kandara-kandamūlaiḥ. So this is a very nice verse. Let's read the translation of this verse. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. Oh my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balarāma along with their cows, cowherd friends with all kinds of necessities. Water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respects to God. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balarāma, Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This translation is quoted from Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 18.34. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the opulence of Govardhan Hill as follows. Pānīya refers to the fragrant cool water from the Govardhan waterfalls, which Krishna and Balarāma drink and use to wash their feet and mouths. Govardhan also offers other beverages such as honey, mango juice, and pilu juice. Sūyavasa indicates durva grass, used to make the religious offering of arghya. Govardhan also has grass that is fragrant, soft, and conducive to the strong growth of cows and increased production of milk. Hence the name Govardhan. One who gives strength and further growth to the cows is Govardhana. Thus, this grass is used for feeding the transcendental herds. Kandara refers to the caves where Krishna and Balarāma and their friends play, sit, and lie down. These caves give pleasure when the weather is too hot or too cold or when it is raining. Govardhan also features soft roots for eating, jewels for ornamenting the body, flat places for sitting, and lamps and mirrors in the form of smooth stones, glistening water, and other natural substances. Translation once again. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. Oh, my friends, This hill supplies Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma along with their calves, cows, and cowherd friends with all kinds of necessities: water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। So, Govardhan Puja and Govardhan Dharan. Actually, it comprises 4 chapters in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is one of the most famous pastimes of Lord Krishna. When we ask what all Lord Krishna did in Vrindavan, very few people will say, okay, he killed some demons. But when we ask what are the names of the demons, they are not able to answer. However, everybody knows that Lord Krishna lifted the Govardhan Hill. Even the common man, when you stop and ask, what is this Govardhan Puja? What is this Govardhan Leela? They'll say, Lord Krishna lifted the hill. And that's much, at least that much everybody knows. So we are very, very fortunate that we get an opportunity to assemble every now and then and discuss. Simply assembling every now and then in the association of devotees and discussing Hari-Katha and Hari-Kirtan, that in itself is one of the greatest charities which we are doing on a weekly basis. So, there is a very nice verse which says, Gokoti dhanam grahane khagasya prayag gangodaka kalpavasam yajñāyitum meru suvarna dhanam govinda kirtir samam nasatam shaihi. Talking about charity, there are various kinds of charity. Gokoti dhanam grahane khagasya. Generally, charity is recommended. There are 3 kinds of charity. Charity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Charity in the mode of goodness means trying to do charity to a qualified person at a nice place, at a nice time. So charity, when done in a holy dham, it is considered very, very auspicious. Similarly, charity done to the auspicious, most qualified people is considered most auspicious. And amongst all the times, there is the time of solar eclipse, which is considered to be even more auspicious to give away in charity. So, Gokoti Danam Grahane Khagasya. During the time of solar eclipse, if somebody gives 1 million cows, not 1 million, 10 million, 1 million is 10 lakh, Koti means 1 crore. So, if someone gives 10 million cows in charity, these days people cannot realize and understand why such Vedic references are there. 10 million cows in charity. Where are 10 million cows? Actually, initially, every householder used to have at least 20-30 cows, minimum. Nand Maharaj had 9 lakh cows. Chanakya Pandit has very nicely concluded that the wealth of a person can be safely and appropriately measured by the number of cows he has and the stock of grains which he has in his house. Do you agree with Chanakya? How many of you want to follow Chanakya? Agreement is good. Agree karte hain hum. We agree. Following, say, I'm living on 18th floor, how do I keep a cow? Grains means now this apartment comes in the blinkit zone. Why do I need to stock some grains? It's a waste of time. I should put some stock in the stock market. How many of you really agree with Chanakya Pandit? That yeah, he really makes sense. Not just for the sake, oh, I'm in temple, I have to say nice things and show that I'm a very nice person. So yeah, I agree. But in personal belief system and practice, I don't like cows. Who will clean them? How many times I did something here in the Goshala, some seva? Nothing. How many of you really agree with Chanakya Pandit? That the number of cows and the stock of grains decides your wealth. Okay, tell me, why cows decide your wealth?
It's milk, and you can use it for milk, for crop and like farming.
Yes, provided you are a farmer, but if you're an IT professional, then what use you have for cows? IT professional knows how to download the app to get a milk, find that E2 organic milk, which is coming from a very good farm and a very good farmer, and drink that. What use are the people of Bangalore having for keeping a cow?
Idea, whenever you cook the food, first roti or first chapati to go to cow.
Okay, so just for giving roti, we need to have a cow.
Milk is very strong for the kids and everything.
Yes, it is very important to drink milk. I'm a little bit deviating from Govardhan discussion. But milk is very important in everybody's diet. Milk is called as a miracle food. Simply by drinking milk, I know a person, I know a devotee who only drinks milk, nothing else. And he tells, what you low class people eating grains and all. And he has a diet, he has a schedule, it's only milk. And I can tell you that person is one of the most strongest and the most active person I know. Wonderfully intelligent. I aspire to walk into his footsteps someday. Simply milk, that's all. And everything is able to get nourishment from milk. So milk is a perfect food. It's a miracle food. I know some people have, what is that called? Lactose intolerance. Some aparadh you have done to the cows. Somehow we have made our body fit for so many things. We have made our body fit to sit in a room with no windows, only some AC ducts for 12 hours, 14 hours. We should really try to make our body fit for milk also. Do some struggle. So, there is a statement in the scriptures, irrespective of your profession, simply if the world can keep the cows and the bulls happy, a mystical happiness will spread all across the planet and everybody will be very, very blissful. This is the statement of various scriptures. Simply, if you just don't do anything, irrespective whether you are a great software professional, doesn't matter. Irrespective if you are a great Bangalore resident, in a 4 BHK villa, in a villa community where you are happy to keep 5 dogs but not 1 cow, doesn't matter. Simply, if you can go and do some service to the cows and just keep them happy. Simply by keeping the cows and the bulls happy, a unique happiness will spread all across the planet. And what to speak if you can actually have some cows and serve them? So, one of the best charities to do is to give away cows. Earlier, everybody used to have many, many cows. So it was possible. Kings actually used to give 10 million cows in charity. It was possible. So now coming back to the concept of charity, go koti danam grahane khagasya. If you give away 10 million cows in charity during the solar eclipse, it's considered to be one of the greatest charities. Prayag Gangodaka Kalpavasam. Prayag means where many, many rivers, there's a confluence of rivers, many rivers meet. Prayag Gangodaka Kalpavasam. In Prayag, how many rivers are meeting? Which are those? Has anybody seen Saraswati? But we know it is meeting. How do you know? From the scriptural evidence, we understand that. So, why it is so important or very beneficial to stay on a prayag or a confluence of rivers? What is the benefit? Now, some rivers coming and meeting, simply by staying there, what spiritual benefit I can derive? I can stay in my house also and chant Hare Krishna. Why should I go and chant Hare Krishna at the confluence of rivers? Let's be scientific. Let's not just speak something. What is the benefit? Yes. Power of sacred rivers helps to make the environment spiritual. Yeah. Okay, so I am nicely trained up in the Vedic scriptures. I am a second initiate Brahmana. I will use my mantras. Gange Chayamane Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalismin Samanidhin Kuru. Right in front of you, I have invoked 7 rivers. What to speak of 3? And then this water contains the water of 7 rivers. Why should I go to the confluence? And I have this mantra technology with me and I know how to execute it. I can stay at home. Why 3? 7? Or else just go next time, bring little water, Radhakund, Shamkund and keep it. That is like the ultimate. So the main reason, whenever this Kumbh Mela used to happen, Prabhupada used to go there. Why? Because at this confluence of rivers and many saintly people, they come. So if somebody stays there, then they get the association of many saintly people. Association of saintly persons makes Prayag, Prayag. Of course, Prayag has its own benefit also. Ganges is emanating from the lotus feet of Krishna. It's not something ordinary. Ganges water, when it is 100 times purified, then it becomes Yamuna. It is not ordinary in Saraswati. However, because these places, they have a congregation or somehow many saintly devotees, they come just to benefit from the association of saintly devotees, people stay there. No doubt that the atmosphere is very nice. But still, the reason why it is Prayag is because of the association of devotees. Somebody asked me, Prabhuji, should I take prasadam twice a day or thrice a day? What do you think should be the answer? International yoga teacher is telling, Jitna bar chahiye utna bar. Everybody is looking at her that what are your class timings? Give me your card. I answered that you should take 3 times because if you take 3 times, you get thrice the association of devotees while taking prasad. I answered from that context. So I was telling Prayag, so you must be intelligent to link it. How is prasadam taking and Prayag connected? You're talking about association of devotees. So when you take prasadam 2 times, you sit with devotees twice. When you take 3 times, you sit with devotees thrice. So, for a person who is progressing in Krishna consciousness, conditioned souls like me, it is important to have association of devotees. So we should take prasad how many times? However, we should follow the international yoga teacher also. Jitna chahiye utna. So even if we don't want to eat prasadam, when the devotees are sitting, at least we can sit with a glass of water. No? Association. So Prayag Gangodaka Kalpavasam, even if we are talking about charity, even if somebody resides at the banks of Prayag for one entire day of Brahma, Kalpavasa, for one Kalpa, you stay at the banks of Prayag. That is also one great austerity and charity. Yajnayatum Meru Suvarnadanam. You do various fire sacrifices and you give away gold in charity. And that gold which you have donated, if you stock it up, it is as big as the Meru mountain. That means so much gold you gave in charity. Again, people of Kali Yuga cannot imagine all this, but this was the reality. In one of the places, yes, during the Ashwamedh Yajna of Maharaj Yudhishthir, was it Maharaj Yudhishthir or someone? One second, just let me recollect. Looks like my memory tells me it was Maharaj Yudhishthir. I may be wrong, I'm giving disclaimer. He was running short of some gold. So he was told that there was such and such king who did a lot of fire sacrifices and gave away a lot of gold in charity. In order to do that fire sacrifice, the vessels or the patra which are used, they were also made of gold. The ladle for pouring the ghee was also made of gold. And once a particular product is used, it is not, or a vessel is used, it is not reused also. So once you use a vessel, it is thrown in the dustbin. And after doing the yajna, the name of the king is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. That after doing the yajna, he gave away much gold in charity, and the praja or the members of his kingdom, they took gold, but before leaving the yajna sthal, they kept back 80% of it. Humko nahi chahiye, I have sufficient. So that gold was stocked up in one of the places in Himalayas. In order to know where it is, to go for that gold treasure hunt, you have to reach the 9th canto. So this is by reading Prabhupada's books, you become richer in every way. So exact location is given. And Prabhupada says somebody who is adventurous can take up this journey and find out that gold, which is still stocked up there. And you cannot imagine how much gold is stocked up. It's beyond your imagination. Beyond your imagination. So that is how the gold was given in charity. One of my Tamil friends was telling me that he was reading a poem about India in the 1000 BC or some that time around. So there was a description how there was a lady who was cleaning the rice, and then she saw she had put the wheat for drying up, and then one bird came to eat the wheat grains. So she was wearing a golden bangle. She took out that golden bangle and hit the bird. The bird went away and the bangle also remained there. That was the power or the wealth of India at one point of time. And she never bothered picking it up. It's still lying there. Sone ki chiniya. India was called as Sone ki chiniya, the bird which is golden. Why was it golden? Because India was spiritually very advanced. One of the most spiritually advanced places in India is Tirupati Balaji. How much gold is there? Unlimited gold is there. So, as long as India was spiritually advanced, it was Sone ki chidiya. The moment India gave up its spiritual culture, Vedic culture, and the culture of keeping cows and focusing on agriculture, everything was lost. And what is the result of that? Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the result of that. Bangalore is the result of that. Mumbai is the result of that. Simply, if we can fix two things, if everybody starts little bit farming, everybody have a little bit land, grow your own food, and simply if everybody can keep two cows, economically speaking, within I think 18 to 20 days of time, we will become the biggest superpower of the world because we don't need anything from anyone. So if we can just fix up our agricultural system, and if we can fix the Vedic education, these two things, if everybody can go back to the Vedic education system and go back to agriculture, India will again become Sone ki chidiya. However, if we don't do these two things, earlier ladies were throwing plastic, golden bangles. Now they will not throw also anything. It is there. So, coming back to charity, yajñāyitum meru suvarna danam. Even during fire sacrifice, if you give away gold, which is equivalent to a Meru mountain, still Govinda kirtir nasamam satam shaihi. That means if you give 10 million cows during a solar eclipse, or if you stay on the banks of Ganga and Yamuna for one kalpa, or if you give gold in charity, which is as high as the Meru mountain, as high as the Meru mountain when stocked up, still Govinda kirtir nasamam satam shaihi. If when devotees come together and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, all these charities, 10 million cows, Meru mountain, as much as Meru mountain gold, or living on the banks of Ganges Yamunas for one kalpa, all this combined together is not equal to 1/100th, not equal to even 1/100th part of the spiritual credit which gets generated when we come together to chant Hare Krishna and hear about the glories of Krishna. So don't think that I'm in Kali Yuga, I can't give charity, I can't go to Ganga. No, you are doing something better than that. Provided you do it, you should come every Sunday. You should chant Hare Krishna. How many of you are always and every day chanting Hare Krishna? See, some of you are not chanting. Then you need to take birth in other yugas and give 10 million cows in charity. That headache you have to take. If you don't take the headache of giving 10 million cows in charity, living on the banks of Ganges for one kalpa, you should start chanting Hare Krishna. How many of you will chant Hare Krishna every day from today? Hare Krishna. I'm seeing at everybody's hands. So, आप chant नहीं करेंगे? करेंगे ना? Everybody will. Who will not chant Hare Krishna? It's like धमकी दे रहा हूँ. So welcome to this very nice occasion where we are chanting Hare Krishna. Coming to the pastime of Giriraj Govardhan, Dharana. This pastime is very close to all of us. Why? Because our deities whom we have worshipped and trying to worship and surrender to are called as Gandharvika Girdhari and Shriman Mahaprabhu. So all the devotees and all the servants of Gandharvika Girdhari have a very, very close, intimate relation with Govardhan. How? I will explain towards the end of this discussion. So Govardhan Leela is one of the most celebrated pastimes of Lord Krishna. Why? Because in this pastime, Lord Krishna tasted all the rasas in one shot together and immediately. All the rasas together in one shot immediately. In all the other pastimes, he has tasted one specific rasa or two specific rasas. How many rasas are there? How many mellows are there? Can someone tell me? In how many mellows or in how many rasas can you execute devotional service? 9. Okay. What are those rasas? Somebody is telling Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. These are not rasas. These are the methods of doing bhakti, Nava Vidha Bhakti. Rasas. What kind of relationships you can have with it? Yes. Okay. Okay.
madhurya, vatsarya,
Who can tell me all the rasas in order, starting with Shanta rasa?
shant, satya,
You missed one in between. Shanta rasa, the rasa in which we want to, we accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We accept that the only reason why we should exist is to, accept His supremacy and worship Him. But like the yogis, they are constantly sitting in their meditation and looking at Krishna in the core of their heart. They're doing nothing else. This is called Shantarasa. The trees, they are in Shantarasa. Why Shantarasa? Because they are always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. However, they are not actively involved in serving Krishna. That is Shantarasa. After that comes Dasyarasa. Means you look at Krishna as your master, and in the mood of a servant, you are constantly serving Krishna. That is called Dasyarasa. After that comes Sakhyarasa, where you look at Krishna as your friend. Now everybody likes this rasa. Why to make Krishna my master? Let me make him my friend. Sometimes I'll worship him, sometimes I'll not worship him. Sometimes I'll chant Hare Krishna, sometimes I'll not chant. He's my friend. No. This is nonsense understanding. Nonsence. S-A-N-S-E. Nonsense. One who does like this is nonsense, and is creating a nonsense life for himself in future also. Because they forget one simple thing. When I say Dasya Rasa is higher than Shanta Rasa, then that means all the qualifications of Shanta Rasa should be there in Dasya Rasa. Shanta Rasa means always thinking of Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. Dasya Rasa means always thinking of Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, and actively serving Krishna as a master. Sakhya Rasa means always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, actively serving Krishna all the time, however, trying to do that service as a friend to Krishna. That means that if Dasya Rasa, if the example is Hanuman, and Sakhya Rasa, let's say the example is Sridham, then in the level of service or in the amount of service, Hanuman and Sridham are almost at the same level. It is not that the friend is not doing any service, simply sitting and playing with Krishna. No. Higher than that is Vatsalya Rasa, which is the rasa of the parents. So, Mother Yashoda became the mother of Krishna to become a servant of Krishna. Understand it in this way. Nand Maharaj became the father of Krishna to become a servant of Krishna. So, don't do this nonsense of saying that I am a friend of Krishna. Friends of Lord Krishna. That is not a joke. That is not a joke. In Kali Yuga, it is easy to practice Dasya Rasa. It's not easy to practice Sakhya Rasa. Very few people are qualified for that platform. They are actually servants of Krishna, but they are giving pleasure to Krishna by doing the role play of a friend. But in their inner consciousness, they are all servants of Krishna. And highest is the Madhurya Rasa, or the Rasa of the Vraja Gopikas, or the gopis of Vrindavan, in which they gave their life, soul, and everything to Krishna. They had no expectations from Krishna. Even Mother Yashoda had some expectations. That no, he is my son, he should eat on time, he should sleep on time, he should come back on time, he should do, although she never forced, but she had some expectations. Of course, these were not her expectations. She was having these expectations just for the well-being and the happiness of Krishna. But the gopis are like, they don't have any expectations also. They say like, you do whatever you want with us. And whether you make us happy by being present before us, or whether you make us broken-hearted by ignoring us for the next 10 million lifetimes, in all circumstances, you are my worshipable supreme master. This is the mood of the gopis. And it is not a joke to be in such a mood. In the Germany, when the Second World War was going on, although the Germans, they started the war, and when many of their husbands, fathers and brothers, sons were there in the war, these atheists, they made a propaganda that if God exists, you pray to them. Pray to God that let me, oh God, give me my daily bread and help my brother, husband, father, son to come back. And of course, these atheists, they knew that Germany is going to lose the war. So none of them came back, and they used this as a propaganda to make mass scale atheists in Germany. So this is the level of our dealings with God. We have made God a pizza machine. It's like when you put money, pizza comes out. So I put a prayer and result should come out. If result is not coming out, then he's not God. Or else, at least in India, it's the supermarket of gods. Change. Today Krishna, tomorrow someone else. This is worse than nonsense. Okay, some cars are blocking the way. Whoever has brought a car, I don't want to announce these numbers. Please go up and see if your car is blocking or not. Two cars, especially 7175 and 0447. It is not parked in the right way. Whose car it is, please. I announced two cars, but three people got it. Anyways, so it's not easy to practice this Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, and what to speak of Madhurya Rasa. In Kali Yuga, the safest way is to try to perfect the Dasya Rasa. If we can do that, that is the greatest success of our life. So we should stick to that. So these are the 5 rasas, and in Govardhan Leela, 5 major rasas, 5 primary rasas. There are 7 secondary rasas also, which I don't want to discuss now. It is mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, you can read. So all these 5 rasas were experienced in full perfection at the same time, simultaneously, all in one shot and immediately by Lord Krishna by doing this Govardhan Leela. So this Govardhan is a very, very special place. As I recited this verse, hantāyam, adrir, abalā, hari-dāsa-varyo. Everybody was in awe of this Govardhan hill. Hari-das means the devotee of Hari or the servant of Hari. The Bhagavatam calls only 3 people as Hari-das throughout. The first person whom the Bhagavatam calls as Hari-das is Yudhishthira. The second personality whom Bhagavatam calls Hari-das is Govardhan. And the third personality whom the Bhagavatam addresses as Hari-das is Uddhava. So the word Hari-das is not an ordinary word. You should aspire to become Hari-das. And this verse says, hantāyam, adrir, abalā, hari-dāsa-varyo. That means the best amongst all the Hari-dasas is Govardhan. So it's a very, very special place. And in Govardhan, some very, very sweet pastimes in the laps of Govardhan or in the foothills of Govardhan, many, many sweet pastimes have happened. All of us know that Golok Vrindavan is higher than Vaikuntha also. So there is a verse in the Nectar of Instruction which says, the holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha. Why Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha? Can someone tell me? What is the difference between Mathura and Vaikuntha? In Vaikuntha, the awe and reverence is very much prevalent. In Vaikuntha, the Lord resides in a 400 form, Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Pushpa, and in the form of Narayan, Vishnu. How many of you can imagine someone going and standing and putting their hand like this on the shoulder of Narayan? Is it imaginable also? It's not possible. Because that level of rasa exchange is not possible. Lord Krishna, when he becomes very formal, he takes the mood of Narayana. There's nothing missing in Narayana. But Lord Krishna experiences higher rasas, more intimacy. So in Narayan, there is awe and reverence. Everybody, not in Narayan, in Vaikuntha, everybody looks up to him as their master and serves them. There is nothing missing in Vaikuntha. It's not that Vaikuntha, hey, this is sarcasm, bad place, nothing like that. The people in Vaikuntha, I would just like to highlight the value of Vaikuntha to you. The highest pleasure, or the so-called highest pleasure for the people who are not devotees of Krishna in this material world while having a human form of life is sex pleasure. The whole world is revolving around sex life. That is the only reason why they do everything. In Vaikuntha, the women are 10,000 times more beautiful than the people or the women on this material world. And the men are 10,000 more times more qualified and more stronger and more better than the men in this material world. Still, when they come together and intermingle, they do not have any arousals of sex desire. Why? Because their consciousness is so much devoted to Vishnu or Narayan that they don't think, even when they closely intermingle, they only think about Narayan. So therefore, in Vaikuntha, there is no sex life. Some people may think, oh, if there's no sex life, it's not a good place, we should not go there only. No. There is something called as a higher taste. There is something called as a higher level of existence. And Vaikuntha is that region where people, they do not have any thought of existing separately without the service of the Lord. They don't have a separate idea of existence. That is Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, Lakshmi is personally residing. In Vaikuntha, there are desire trees. You can just go to any tree and say, I want this to serve Krishna, and you will get it. For example, for Janmashtami, we need some things to serve the Lord. We are going to various places, buying, purchasing, money, this, that. But in spiritual world, the job is very easy. Just go to one of the trees and say, I know you need this. Whether it is a mango tree or a banana tree or a guava tree or a kaju tree. Whatever you ask, any tree can give you anything. That is called kalpa vriksha. Now people must be thinking, why such a vriksha doesn't exist in... here we don't have. And in Vaikuntha, where people have no desires, there kalpa tree is existing. It's like, So this is the laws of the material and the spiritual world. The more attached you are to Krishna, the more resources will come automatically to you. The more you are attached to sense gratification, the more the resources will be taken away from you. You become a pure devotee of Krishna and you see. Everything will come to you on its own. Why? Because you are carrying Krishna in your heart. And wherever there is Krishna, there is all opulence and all Lakshmi automatically coming. But wherever Krishna or Narayan is not there, their Duryodhana mentality is there, or Ravana mentality is there. They want to just keep the Lakshmi for their use, but they do not know that Lakshmi belongs to Krishna and should be used only in the service of Krishna. So, higher than this Vaikuntha is places like Ayodhya, where there is more intimacy with the Lord. Higher than Ayodhya is Mathura. Higher than Mathura is Gokul or Goloka Vrindavan. So here, it is being explained here. Now one may say that, how can you say that Vaikuntha, Goloka or Gokul is higher than Vaikuntha? In Vaikuntha, I have read the descriptions, it is so opulent. There is Chintamani, dust, and even the staircases are made with lapis lazuli kind of, and there is desired trees and so much money and wealth and awe and reverence and no birth, no disease, no old age, no death. In Vrindavan, people don't even have proper clothes to wear. How can you say? So the answer is, in terms of opulence, Vrindavan is much higher than Vaikuntha also. However, in places like Vrindavan, the sweetness aspect of Krishna so much overpowers the opulence that people do not realize that that place is opulent also. For example, in Vrindavan, Krishna grew some plants which used to give pearls as fruits. This is not possible in Vaikuntha. Have you ever seen a plant which is giving pearls as fruits. This is possible in Vrindavan. That is how opulent the land of Vrindavan is. When somebody does farming, pearl trees come out. There is a very nice pastime. Prabhuji, can you ask them to little bit slow down? I mean, volume. And those who are in the hall, I will request them to please pay attention. Don't spend your time completely on your mobiles. If you are here, hear the Hari Katha. If you cannot hear the Hari Katha, go out and do the Seva. Do not chant while hearing the Hari Katha. That is also an offense. If you are here, make sure that your time is being used for listening to the Hari Katha. Otherwise, you can sit at your homes and do the Sevas. No need to come here. Sorry for speaking like this. Because as a speaker, it's very disturbing. There is constant movement, and people are on their phones, some people are sleeping, some people are talking. I feel bad for such people. We are discussing about how Vrindavan supersedes or exceeds Mathura and all the other places such as Vaikuntha. Even in terms of opulence, however, the opulence of Vrindavan is not visible very nicely. Why? Because the sweetness aspect overpowers the opulence. So this is the verse from Nectar of Instruction. I'm just trying to build up to the Govardhan Leela. All this background is very necessary. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathurapuri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan, because Krishna performed the pastimes there. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is the Govardhana Hill. For it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. So this is the hierarchy. First comes Vaikuntha, higher than Vaikuntha is Ayodhya, Mathura and all those places. Higher than that is Vrindavan. Even in Vrindavan, the highest place is Govardhan. And in Govardhan, there is a place called Radha Kund that is supposed to be the highest place as far as the spiritual existence is concerned. So now, in this holy land of Vrindavan, which is supposed to be the most superior place, there is this place called Govardhan. Govardhan is a mountain. Let me tell you something about the history of Govardhan. How Govardhan came into existence. One day, Srimati Radharani, the word Radha comes from the word Aradhana, which means the worshipper of Krishna. So the person who can worship Krishna in the best possible way, with the highest amount of devotion, with the best possible paraphernalia, is Srimati Radharani. Nobody can exceed her in loving and devotion to Krishna. Sometimes out of ignorance, people say, when some child is born in their house, they say, मेरे घर राधा पैदा हुई है, मेरे घर कृष्ण पैदा हुए हैं. That is another nonsense. That means you are trying to say that your girl child who's going to become the cause of your headache, or your newborn boy child who's going to become the cause of your headache in future, is equivalent to Krishna and Radharani. This is another nonsense. Nobody can take the place of Srimati Radharani. And nobody can become God, Krishna. However, if you say that in my house, a servant of, actually you should not say that also. Becoming a servant of Radharani or a servant of Krishna is also a great thing. You should simply say that I've got a child, that's all. Please pray that the child may become a devotee of the Lord. Speaking like this, मेरे घर राधा रानी आई पैदा हुई है, nonsense. So Radharani is the supreme personality of Godhead's supreme devotee. Her place cannot be taken by anyone, and it is reserved for the rest of eternity. And the reason why she is the best devotee of Krishna is because she is the most humble person in the whole creation. So if at all you want to become a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Srimati Radharani, first we have to work upon becoming humble in life. Illusion means I'm not spiritually advanced, but artificially thinking that I'm very advanced. That is called illusion. That is also called being a sahajya. I cannot chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra also, but I think I'm very advanced. This is called being a sahajya. I cannot follow the four regulative principles, but when I come in front of the deities, I act as if I'm a very great devotee. I start dancing, I start crying, my body starts shivering, my voice starts faltering. And as soon as I go out of the temple, my sense gratification begins. This is called being a sahajya. Let's not become sahajyas. Let's actually become humble. Knowing where we are in spiritual life is called as humility, and acting according to our spiritual platform is called humility. And the most humble devotee of Lord Krishna is Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Lord Krishna is so attracted to her. Lord Krishna does not have lust in his heart, or greed, or anger, or illusion, or enviousness, or attachments in his heart. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even devotees of Lord Krishna, they don't have lust in their heart. What to speak of Krishna himself? Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All lust, anger, greed leaves the heart. So what to speak of the person Krishna, whose name we are chanting? So the idea that Krishna is attracted sexually or conjugally, and because of that he's doing some pastimes with Radharani or the gopis, is a very, very degraded idea. And this idea leads one to hell. People who are demons, they misunderstand Krishna in this way. They call him various names. They sing songs. Nonsense that is also. So Radharani is the supreme devotee of Krishna. And one day she said to Lord Krishna that if you think I have served you nicely, and if you think that I have pleased you nicely, then please give me a place, where there is all these things, pānīya-sūyavasa-kandara-kandamūlaiḥ, all that, the verses which we read. So this was Radharani's desires, that there should be nice water to serve you, there should be nice fruits and flowers to offer you, there should be nice caves where we can do some nice seva to you, and there should be nice kunjas, groves, so many things. She had a desire like this. So for fulfilling the desire of Srimati Radharani, Lord Krishna produced a small piece of stone from his heart. That is called as Govardhan. Now when he was manifested by Krishna from his heart, it started growing in size, and it grew and grew and grew and grew, and almost it covered the entire area which was visible in Golok Vrindavan, until Krishna had to tell that you please stop growing now. So that is Golok Vrindavan, and in that Golok Vrindavan is Govardhana Hill. Now because he has come out from the heart of Krishna, so he is non-different from Krishna. That is why many people, when they get order from their spiritual master, after permission from their spiritual master, they get a Govardhan Shila and they keep it in their altar. And that to the Govardhan Shila, it's not like, oh, I'm going to Vrindavan, let me pick up a Shila, put in my pocket and walk away. No, it's not that. If you pick it up on your own, the rule is, if I picked up a Govardhan Shila of 1.5 kg, then I should put gold worth 1.5 kg there. If you can't do it, don't pick up. Please. Otherwise, first thing which will happen is that your health will be fully spoiled. And the next thing which will happen is your wealth will be fully spoiled. And after that, I don't want to speak anything. So the scriptural, if you want to pick up a Govardhan Shila, you have to keep gold equivalent to that there. Ideally, one should take permission from their spiritual master, and some resident of Vrindavan should be willing to offer to them. Then, if you bring a Govardhan Shila, it is there in all ISKCON temples you go. So then, when you worship a Govardhan Shila, it is as good as worshipping Krishna. Because Govardhan Shila has dual identity, or Govardhan has dual identity. Govardhan is Krishna also, and Govardhan is a devotee also. Just like Lord Chaitanya, he is Krishna also, and he is Krishna in the mood of a devotee also. So there are two references of Govardhan. Because Govardhan came from the heart of Krishna, so he is non-different from Krishna. So people worship him as good as Krishna. However, he is considered as a devotee also, hari-dāsa-varyo, where he is in the mood of serving Krishna. So in that way, Govardhan came into existence. And at one point of time, Lord Krishna decided that, okay, I have to descend in the material world and do some pastimes. So he was telling, okay, Sridham, you go down. Okay, Nand Baba, you go down. Mother, you please go down. Then he went to Radharani. He said, okay, you also go down. Radharani said, I'll not go. So Krishna said, why you are not going? I'm going. He said that I cannot go and stay in a place where there is no Yamuna and where there is no Govardhan. So Radharani resides at that place where there is Yamuna and Govardhan. So Lord Krishna said, okay, I'll ask them to also go. Then he sent Yamuna also, and he then sent Govardhan also. Govardhan appeared as the son of another mountain whose name was Drona. Dronagiri Parvat mountain was Govardhan. The grandfather of Ravana, I think he was the grandfather, whose name was Pulatsya. He was moving around looking for a place where there are nice waterfalls, nice fruits, nice grass, nice caves to do his meditation. He came across Govardhan and he liked it very much. And he said, I want it. I will take it to Varanasi and I will keep it there, and daily I will perform meditation there. Govardhan, Pulatsya Muni approached the father of Govardhan, who was Dronagiri, and Dronagiri said, okay, you ask my son. Now again, there is a lot of description of this separation, just like Maharaj Dashrath was completely devastated to give away Lord Ram. So similarly, Dronagiri was completely devastated to give up Govardhan. That is the most prized, which was the most prized possession of his life. However, he gave it away. Govardhan gave a condition that I will come with you, but whichever the first place where you put me down, I will stay there. This was the condition which Govardhan gave. So Govardhan is flying in the sky along with our Pulatsya Muni. And as soon as he came above the land of Vrindavan is eternal. Even when Krishna has not appeared in this day of Brahma, still Vrindavan is there, Mathura is there, Madhuvan is there. Many yuga cycles ago, when Dhruva Maharaj was there, he was asked to go to Madhuvan to perform his austerities. And even at that time, the name of Krishna was mentioned in Bhagavatam. So these are eternal pastime places. So when he came above Vrindavan, he started remembering Krishna. He missed the association of Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and then he started becoming heavier and heavier and heavier, and he didn't want to go further. Understanding the desire of Govardhan, some chemical imbalances happened in the body of Pulatsya Muni, and he felt the pressure of stool and urine also. Pulatsya Muni was wondering that I have not eaten anything from the last 3,000 years. How I am getting stool and urine pressure now? So he said, okay, you please relax, be seated here. And see, when you get pressure, after that, what DT worship and what contract and nothing. First you have to rush. So Pulatsya Muni rushed him. And after that, when he was coming back, he was like, Govardhan said that he'll not come up if I put him in some place. Now this is Vrindavan, he has landed here. Still let me try. I'll give the excuse of stool and urine. Nature's call. So Govardhan said, no, nothing doing, contract is contract. Wherever you put me, this is my final place. So Pulatsya Muni became angry and cursed Govardhan that every day you will reduce by the size of one mustard seed. So it is said from that day, every day Govardhan reduces by the size of one mustard seed. Even during the pastimes of Krishna, it was very, very high. It was 84 miles high in the sky. 84 miles high. But if you see Govardhan now, and very soon there is a prediction that after a few thousands of years, Govardhan will disappear, Ganga will disappear, Yamuna will disappear due to the irreligious activities which are happening. However, the Acharyas disagree, They say that the real reason why Govardhan is shrinking is not because of the curse of some sage. The real reason why Govardhan is shrinking is because he is facing separation from Radha and Krishna. So even before the curse had come, the Govardhan had already started shrinking. Now, we are in the 50th day of Brahma, the first 50th year, first day, 28th Chaturvyuha cycle. So in one day of Brahma, there are 1004 yuga cycles. Satyug, Treta, Dwapar and Kali is one yuga cycle. So 1000 yuga cycles make 12 hours of Brahma, and another 1000 yuga cycles make 12 hours of the night of Brahma. And in one day, there are these many cycles. Night is not counted. So only 1000 cycles of Brahma is there in one day. So we are in the, and Brahma lives for 100 years with 360 plus 365 days in a year. So presently, the Brahma of our universe is 50 years old, and first day, that means if you talk in local language, yesterday was his birthday. Just explaining perspective, one day of Brahma is like so many lifetimes of ours. 311 trillion 40 billion years is the lifetime of Brahma. So presently the Brahma is just first day after his 50th birthday, and presently the 28th Chaturvyuha cycle is going on. In the Janmashtami, when you will go for doing Archana, they will recite all these mantras, where you are in this Shvetvaraha Kalpa, you are in the 28th cycle, you are in the Bharat Jambudvipa, Bharat Khanda, and all those things. Full address they will give, starting from the beginning of creation, if you have carefully noted the Archana system. So there also they will say 28th. So in the 24th Yuga cycle, Lord Ram had appeared. It is not that in Dwapar Yuga Krishna came and in Treta Yuga Ram came. No, this is 28th Yuga. In the 3 Treta Yugas before, Lord Ram appeared. So at that time, Govardhan was still there on the planet. And the task of getting various mountains and rocks for constructing the Ram Setu was going on. Different monkeys had taken contracts. So Hanuman was also moving all around looking for mountains and rocks and boulders. So he really felt attracted to Govardhan, and he said that this is such a nice rock, such a nice mountain. If I take, Lord Ram will be so happy. So he lifted Govardhan and started moving up. And Govardhan was very happy that I'm going to be used in the service of my Lord. But as soon as Hanuman picked Govardhan and approached towards the sea, the engineers of Ram Setu, Nal and Neel, they sent a WhatsApp message that no more stones or rocks are required. Construction is finished. So Hanuman had to say, I'm sorry, Govardhan, I have to keep you back. Construction is over. So as he was keeping Govardhan back, Govardhan became very dissatisfied and almost was in tears. And after so much, many yugas, every Kali Yuga is like this only. There's no difference in previous Kali Yuga. Every Kali Yuga there is plastic. Every Kali Yuga there is all this nonsense happening. So he was like, so many Kali Yugas I have passed, like that he told Hanuman. And I have, so much people did to me. Please do something. I'll not let you go like this. You have to take me there. So Hanuman, to pacify Govardhan, gave him some blessings. 3 blessings he gave. Number 1, he said, my dear Govardhan, all the rocks and stones which were used for constructing Ram Setu, they were not ordinary rocks and stones. They were great personalities in the form of rocks and stones. So he said that all the rocks and stones which are used for constructing the Ram Setu, they are getting shared attention. They all exist together as a bridge, and then they are getting attention of Lord Ram. But you will get the personal attention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the future. The first benediction. The second benediction, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ram, will walk only once on this bridge. That means they will come in touch with the Lord's lotus feet only once. However, my dear Govardhan, you will get the touch of the lotus feet of not just Ram but Krishna also on a daily basis. This is the second benediction which Hanuman gave. And the third benediction, he said that the Lord showed mercy upon these rocks by walking upon it, by putting them under his feet. But you, Govardhan, you will get so much mercy that the Lord will personally touch you with his own hand and will place it on top of his head also. These were the benedictions which he received from Hanuman. And then somehow 4 more Chatur Yuga cycles passed. Govardhan is waiting. And then finally, Lord Krishna has appeared. So we are talking about 5,250 years ago, and Lord Krishna has appeared. And now Lord Krishna is 5, 6, 7 years old, and he has daily started going to Govardhan, fast forwarding a lot. And then I come to the Srimad Bhagavatam section of Govardhan Puja. Are you all with me? Are you able to, have you understood the background which I discussed, the background of charity, the background of superiority of Vrindavan, the background of how Vrindavan is superior to Vaikuntha, the background how Govardhan serves in so many ways, and the history of Govardhan. If you have been able to digest all this, then you will be able to understand the Govardhan Puja. So Govardhan, is serving the Lord in many, many ways. There is another reference in a book called as Gopal Champu, where how Govardhan is offering services to the Lord. So those who are pujaris, any pujaris here? Where are the pujaris? Some pujaris who know Shodash Upchar, 16 kinds of activities which we do while giving abhishekam to the deities and etc. So there is something called as asana, swagata, padya, arghya, achman, madhuparka, jala, vastra, gandha, pushpa, dhupa, deep, abharana, ahar, mukhvas, followed by arti. So in Gopal Champu, very nicely it has been said that Govardhan has many, many flat places where many jewels are infused. And Lord Krishna uses it or used it to sit upon it. They were offering asanas to, Govardhan was offering asana to Krishna on a daily basis. Govardhan had many ranges, not like a small mountain now. Actually, Govardhan still exists in its eternal spiritual form, very, very high, with the peaks going into the clouds. But we do not have that spiritual vision to see it, the spiritual form of Govardhan. However, at least during the time of Krishna, there were various ranges, and in different ranges, different kinds of birds used to stay. And they used to sing or chirp in different ragas. So that is like Swagat. Whenever Lord Krishna, along with his friends, used to enter Govardhan, the different birds would sing in different ways and do nice Swagat to Lord Krishna. For washing the feet of Lord Krishna, there were various waterfalls. Feet, hand, etc. There is some places where you do arghya, where you wash your hand, you sip a little water and all those things. So throughout Govardhan, if you see the map of Govardhan, there is Radha Kund, Surbhi Kund, Sankarshan Kund, Airavat Kund, etc., etc., etc. In all these kunds, there is the Durva grass, a very, very pure grass which is used for sacrificial ceremonies, is there. And naturally, the smell of musk, in Hindi it's called as kasturi, found in deer's navel. The smell of musk used to come out from these kunds. When I was doing Govardhan Parikrama last, we went to this Surbhi Kund and we sat there and did a small katha. At that time, this point was coming to my mind. The durva grass and musk seeds, musk smell is there. But I was not getting that smell. And I was thinking, is it just written? And I realized that I do not have the spiritual qualification to actually see this Surbhi Kund or Radha Kund in its true spiritual form. We need to have a spiritual consciousness to perceive things. Now, there is a very nice saying that if Guru and Krishna are standing together, then I should worship Guru first. Because Guru has explained to me who is Krishna. This is called spiritual consciousness. This is called spiritual training. If you do not, this consciousness is not based on my charma chakshu, it is not based on my biological vision. It is a spiritual consciousness. Similarly, to see the spiritual form of Radha Kund, Shyam Kund, Surabhi Kund, Ravat Kund, this, that, I need to have a spiritual consciousness. Then only I can see. Just like all this, space explorations which are happening, moon explorations which are happening. The Bhagavad Gita says, Yanti deva vrata devan pitreni yanti pitravata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajino. There is a different way to go to the moon planet, and there is a description of the moon planet. In order to see the world of the Chandradev or the moon demigod, one needs to have different spiritual qualification, karmic qualification, and it is not possible to go there in the human body also. So therefore, one can claim that various ships are landing on the moon, but in order to see the real moon, one needs to have qualification. If a dog comes and sits in ISKCON Kannamangala temple hall, will it feel any difference? I am sitting outside in the gutter, now I am sitting in the temple hall. Will it feel any difference? No, because it does not have that consciousness. A dog cannot come here and hear the Govardhan Leela. If the dog has to hear the Govardhan Leela, he has to come in the form of a human being. Is it possible? Can you sit with a buffalo every day and tell, and the buffalo will reciprocate, I have a question, sir. It's not possible, generally speaking. So similarly, in order to see or perceive the reality of the moon, one needs to have a higher consciousness, a different kind of body. One needs to have the sanction of the laws of material nature, especially a demigod called Indra. There is something called as X coordinate, Y coordinate, and Z coordinate. You may fulfill the XY coordinate, but until you go to the Z coordinate, you cannot go to the actual place. So this Z coordinate is the spiritual consciousness. If you do not have, for example, I am talking about Surabhi Kund. Now, I cannot see Surabhi Kund even when I go to Vrindavan. Until unless I have that spiritual qualification, I cannot perceive Vrindavan. So similarly, until we have the spiritual qualification, wherever we go, we cannot see it. So therefore, it is as good as not going there. A cow grazing here and a cow grazing, let's say, in the ISKCON Kannamangala temple or in ISC Bangalore, what difference of consciousness it will have? Similarly, until unless you have the right consciousness, you cannot perceive and see things. Ved Vyas is still there on this planet, sitting in the upper Badrikashram. But in order to go there, in order to see the upper Badrikashram, you need to have a higher consciousness. But just because you go to Mount Himalayas and you don't see the upper Badrikashram, and then you cannot say Himalayas don't exist. Everybody knows in Kailash Lord Shiva is sitting, but everybody goes to Kailash, but nobody is able to find Lord Shiva. That means everything is a lie. No, you need to have a higher consciousness. So similarly, if you have the right consciousness, and with the right consciousness, if you go to Vrindavan, when you are standing in Surabhi Kund, you will get the natural deer musk flavor, and you will see Durva grasses going there, and you will see Krishna eternally coming there performing his pastimes. Similarly, there were various places in Govardhana Hill where Krishna used to do Achman. Before deity worship, we do Achman, Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayanaya Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah. And from the Brahma Tirth section of our hand, we sip water. Even Arjuna was doing this in the battlefield before invoking Brahmastra. So there were various places in Govardhan where which Krishna used to do Achman. And the speciality of these kunds was it had a flavor of pepper and clove. There was very nice sweet water to drink. The Lord Krishna used to wear many tree barks and leaves and wreaths made out of flowers. So there were various clothes, vastra options. There was yellow sandalwood paste, red sandalwood paste, all those things. And Krishna's friends used to make paste, take some brushes, make paintings on the face of Krishna or smear the body of Krishna. So this is called as Gandha. Pushpa. It is said that the flowers of Govardhan were so fragrant that after smelling it, Lord Krishna used to forget that I am God. He used to just think that I am a cowherd boy. This reminds me of a pastime in Vaikuntha, where these four Kumaras, they are there standing in front of the gates of Vaikuntha, and a misunderstanding happens and they commit the offense of cursing Jay and Vijay, who are the eternal residents of Vaikuntha, thinking that they are not qualified enough. And the four residents of the material world, conditioned souls, these four Kumaras, they thought that they are better than Jay and Vijay and they cursed them. However, when Lord Vishnu comes with Mother Lakshmi, at that time they get the smell of tulsi which is coming out from the lotus feet of Vishnu. Simply by smelling that smell of tulsi leaf, their mind becomes purified, and from Brahmavadis they become pure devotees. This is one pastime. This is Vaikuntha. And in Govardhan, Lord Krishna is taking a flower and smell it, and he is forgetting that I am God also. So the fragrance of the flowers in Vrindavan is even higher than that of Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, by smelling a flower, you will become a pure devotee of the Lord. But in Govardhan, when you smell, even God becomes attracted to the smell of flowers. And that is how they have glorified Govardhan, Pushpa. Every now and then, some smoke keeps coming out from the valleys of Govardhan. The acharyas say that is the dhoop which Govardhan is offering. Sometimes, due to the various refraction of the sun and various colors of the various ranges of Govardhan, it would appear that Govardhan is on fire, various colors. So that is the deep which he is offering. There is profuse peacock feather and gunja berries, which are used as abharana for the Lord, various fruits, ahar, and so on and so forth. All these Shodashopchar Govardhan was doing on a daily basis. So one day, after spending his time on Govardhan, Krishna came back to Vrindavan, and then he saw that everybody is busy. Somebody is getting some cow dung and smearing the floor. Somebody is getting some paint and painting on the wall. Somebody is cleaning the main area. Somebody is getting some jaggery. Somebody is getting some wheat. Somebody is getting some rice and making some stuff. And he was like, what is going on? How is it possible that something is happening and I don't know? Actually, he knows everything, but he acts like that. So he goes and asks various people, kya ho raha hai? What is happening? And people are like, hey, jaake khelo, time waste mat karo. Go and play. So he really wanted to know what is going on. Actually, he knew that the preparations of Indra Puja is going on. But Krishna personally didn't like this idea of doing Indra Puja in Vrindavan. He said that when I am personally there, what is the need of worshipping any demigod? And he wanted to teach this principle of pure devotional service to the Brajvasis. They already knew this principle, but he used the Brajvasis to teach this to the entire world. That just like when you water the root of the tree, the entire tree is nourished. So simply by worshipping Lord Krishna, every other demigod and every other worshipable personality is automatically satisfied and pleased. Therefore, you can keep only Lord Krishna in your altar and no need to keep anyone else. Simply by worshipping Lord Krishna, everything else is achieved. So this Krishna Eika Sharanam, this principle of taking exclusive shelter of Krishna, Krishna wanted to establish. And whenever Krishna wants to do something or establish something, he takes the help of his pure devotees, or he uses only his pure devotees. So he did this whole pastime of Govardhan Puja, where he was moving around, kya ho raha hai, and people were like, jaake khelo. And then he went to Balram. He said that, see, whatever I'm saying, they're not taking me seriously. I need some strength, I need some bala. So you come with me, my dear Balram. So he took Balram and he went this time directly to Nand Maharaj. All this time he was asking other people, but when Balram came with him, he went directly to Nand Maharaj. So Acharyas are commenting, Balram represents Guru Tattva, and when you have Guru with you, you can directly approach the highest authorities, including Lord Krishna. So basically, by this pastime, Krishna showed that until unless you have the support of the Guru Tattva with you, you will never feel confident in your endeavors. But if you have the blessings of Guru, you will be very confident. So confidently, Krishna walked up to Nand Maharaj. Excuse me, my dear father, I have a question for you. What are you doing? Why are you doing? You have to tell me. Initially, Nand Maharaj said, okay, you go and play. We are doing something important. We'll tell you later. He again interfered. Again, he's using the word father, father. And every time he uses the word pita, pita, the heart of Nand Maharaj is melting. And then he's asking very sweetly, let's see, you have to tell me whatever you are doing. If you will not tell me, you are the king of Raja and I am the prince of Raja. When you will become old, how will I continue the tradition? And so you have to tell me, you are a sadhu. Sadhus have no secrets in their heart. Why you are keeping this puja which you are doing? Have you read the scriptures? Is it mentioned anywhere in the scriptures? Is this related to this world or is it related to another world? All these questions he is asking and he is quoting various scriptures. And Nand Maharaj is thinking that till now he has not had his Upnayan ceremony also. He never went to any school. How is he quoting any scriptures? And that's how Krishna used to charm everybody. So Krishna basically used this principle that tradition has to be properly scientifically verified. First of all, are traditions, family traditions important? Should we follow them? Don't say yes because you are in a temple. Tell me yes or no if you actually believe it or not. How many of you think family traditions are important and we should really follow them? What if the family tradition you have makes no sense to you? One such family tradition I heard was once in a year they have to go to their village and there is a ghost and they have to offer some wine and all those things to the ghost. Family tradition. Otherwise the whole village will come under trouble. Would you like to follow it? If you're born in such a family, will you follow it? You will use your rugged individualism and so-called holy scientific spirit of inquiry and you'll give it up. And that is what has happened in most of the cases. Nobody follows family traditions. However, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita which talks about the importance of family traditions. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharma nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavatyuta. This is, I think, first chapter, verse number 39, where Arjuna is telling that if I kill all these men here, they are the elders of the family, they are the protectors of the family tradition. And if I kill them, then what will happen? Kulakshaye pranashyanti kula dharma sanatanaha. So whatever the eternal family principles and social welfare projects which are being done, they'll be destroyed. Especially when this kula dharma is destroyed, the first people which will be polluted are the women of the family. Because women of the family, they have nice engagement in the family traditions. If the women of the family are not engaged in family traditions, then they will have a lot of nonsense-free time. And because of that nonsense-free time, they will be polluted by the unscrupulous men of the society. Because they have time. They'll be simply chatting on Facebook, kitty party will be going on, chatting on Facebook. I've seen, in my village also I've seen. I've known these, like I grown up with few of my friends, they were girls, they're coming from very nice family, but Facebook destroyed their family life. They are sitting in village, they have 2 children, they have a nice husband, but somebody messages them on Facebook. I'm telling you reality. Oh, very nice photo. And this flower which you have put, no, it's looking very nice. Next time take a photo like this. This is reality. Someone messaged. She's my friend, she called and shared with me. I said, oh, and then he started messaging. He is also a married man with 2 kids. And he's messaging like this. And this woman, she got, it's 20 years of marriage. So anyways, I don't know what was going on. And she fell in a trap with him. Despite having a husband and 2 children, coming from a good cultured family, she fell in a trap. This is our reality of the society. And don't think that this will not happen to your children. Or don't think this will not happen to your daughter or sister or wife. And don't think this will not happen to your husband, son, or brother. This is due to ignorance of family traditions. Because that girl or that woman had a lot of free time. So that she was there on Facebook, Instagram, social media, and all this happened. So family traditions is a very good occupation. It saves us from sinful existence. We have nothing to do, that's why we order pizza. We have nothing to do, that's why we go to Netflix. We have nothing to do, that's why we do all nonsense. Nobody picks up the Bhagavatam and chalo aaj thoda, from last 5 days I have not read Bhagavatam. Every day I'm supposed to read 1.5 hours. So I will take a break from my office and go on a marathon of 10 hours reading. Who has such kind of consciousness? Nobody has. Nahi padhe, acha hai, nahi padhe, chodo. Let me go on Netflix. Before sleeping, my body is fully tired, no. But still, mind is not tired. And the mobile is falling on my face, but still I have to see something. Don't think this consciousness is there in men, it is there in women also. What to speak of men? This is there in children now. How much Kali Yuga has contaminated. So if these family traditions are destroyed, women of the family will be polluted. When the women are polluted, unwanted progeny comes, which is called as Varna Shankar. And this Varna Shankar destroys the society. You do a careful examination of all the criminals and find out how they were born. Common link is this. So therefore, it is not possible for men to remain righteous and for women to remain chaste until unless they are not a part of their family traditions. However, family traditions have to be scientifically verified. In one lecture, my spiritual master was explaining the importance of scientific family traditions. He was saying that one girl was getting married and there was a cat nearby. It was creating a lot of ruckus, jumping from here, there, everywhere. So her mother told that get a basket and put it on that cat so that the cat cannot run around. We did things. So I convinced him, and then within 1 month he stopped having bath and putting tilak and all. And then we started following some South Indian heroes, and he started cutting his hair. I started keeping some kind of all nonsense we did. Why this happened? Because he was not knowing scientifically why he's doing what he's doing. And if the Vedic culture is declining, it is because of the parents, because they are not knowing why they are doing what they are doing. And for them, money is more important than God. For them, pizza is more important than cow. For them, Blinkit is more important than farming. Because of that, the children are becoming like this. Don't blame your children. You have set the foundation. So Krishna asked the same question. There is, a lot of parenting lessons. It's my desire. I've been reading the Bhagavatam. A lot of parenting lessons are there in Bhagavatam. For example, when these cowherd boys, when they come home, the mother comes and sits with the child. Tell me what happened today. The parents may say, "Hum log bhi karte hain, we also do." And the kids come from school, we also ask, what happened? Oh, this kid stole my tiffin. Oh, this kid said like that. Oh, that kid. So the Vrajvasis, they are asking their children what happened. But they are not interested in who said what. They are interested in the pastimes of Krishna. So the lesson which we can derive from here is that parents should daily spend time with their children in a personal way, having discussions so that Krishna is the center of that discussion. This is called ideal parenting. And not that I sit with my child and she says, oh, that girl said like this, oh, that girl was wearing such nice dress, oh, this boy told like this boy broke my teeth. This kind of parenting is not point. It's not very much fruitful. You'll spend hours and hours with your child like this, and one day you'll realize, oh, my child is a case of depression. Spend time with your children, but keep the Krishna as the center of your conversations. Then you are walking in the footsteps of Vrajvasis as parents. So like this, there are many lessons. So Krishna also gives a lesson. He asked his father, what is the proof of this worship which you are doing? So Nand Maharaj explained that see, by rains come grains, and these forests and grass, they will come up through rains. And we are Brajvasis, we are cowherds. So most of the things which we do is dependent on the rain. And the rains come from a demigod called Indra. Full references Nand Maharaj gave. So Indra is the source of our maintenance, like that Nand Maharaj proved. And Krishna looked at Balram, and Balram looked at Krishna. He said, "What is this? Indra is the source of we are here, and they are thinking Indra is the source of their maintenance. This should not be allowed." So then Krishna started speaking false philosophy. He wanted to convince Nand Maharaj that what he is doing is not ideal. So the first thing he says is, I'm just trying to find the verses. He said, the first argument which Krishna gives is, work is worship. And what is all this Indra Puja and all? You simply work hard. The harder you work, the luckier you get. And the more you work, the results are bound to come to you. Even Indra will be forced to give you results. So everything depends on your passion and the desire to cross that extra mile. Just work hard. And no need to worship Indra. Nand Maharaj said, this is nonsense theory. I don't want to accept this karma mimamsa philosophy. Question raised by the acharyas in that verse is that how come Krishna speak a wrong philosophy? The acharyas were thinking that, were telling that Krishna was thinking, I'm in my home, although I'm the best preacher, but nobody takes me seriously. So let me say anything what I want. Later on, when I will leave my home and speak Bhagavad Gita elsewhere where someone will take me seriously, I will correct all these wrong statements. So basically, a preacher is not taken seriously in his hometown. That is what I learned from this. And I changed my dealings with people accordingly. So, next argument, although this was rejected by Nanda Maharaj, next argument he gives is, what is the need of doing all this? We are Vaishyas, we have to do Krishi, Go-Raksha, Vanijya. You're worshipping this Indra. Is there any record that Indra came for a lunch with anybody? Has anybody seen Indra? This is the atheistic theory. Can you show me God? No. I cannot show you right. Therefore, no God exists. So his theory was, can you show me Indra right now? Nand Maharaj said, hey, Indra is you useless person or what? Whenever I'll call him, he'll come. So no, if I cannot see him, I will not believe that he exists. So again, Nand Maharaj said, this is also nonsense argument. So like that, first he gave karma mimamsa philosophy, then he gave atheistic philosophies. So all the philosophies ultimately come from Krishna only. All the gadbad philosophy of the world comes from Krishna. However, Krishna corrected all the gadbad philosophy through his Bhagavad Gita. So we should not make this gadbad philosophy as the formula of our life. It is coming from Krishna. Bhagavad Gita we have to follow. So then he said that, see, further after giving the philosophy of karma mimamsa, atheism, then he started giving the philosophy of nullism and voidism. He said, what is this Indra and all? You are saying the Indra gives rain. I don't think that some supreme deity is in charge of rain. Even if he's in charge, it looks like he is mentally retarded. Rain should fall only on forests and crops. I can see rain is falling on mountains also. Rain is falling on the seas also. Rain is falling in the oceans also. What is the need of rain falling there? If this is the case, that means Indra is not intelligent. So therefore there is no God. And there is no Indra. Therefore you should not worship Indra. Again Nand Maharaj said this is nonsense. And he refuted him. Finally, when Krishna saw that nullism, voidism, atheism, work is worship, Marxism, socialism, communism, nothing is working, then in the end he said, okay, I want you to stop worshipping Indra and start worshipping Govardhan because this is what I like. Then they said, if you like it, we will do. Then everybody agreed. So this shows how Vrajavasis were beyond all philosophies. Don't think that these Vrajavasis are very simple people, they don't know Shastra. No, they know the ultimate conclusion of Shastras. Why? Because Krishna is there in their heart. Prema bhakti jahan hoite avidya vinasha jayite. Wherever there is prema bhakti, all kinds of ignorance and avidya will be automatically destroyed. You know, who can tell me the names of the personalities in our Guru Parampara? Starting with Srila Prabhupada. After Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Who is next? On the way to Krishna? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Attach the name Prabhupada there also. After that, who is there? Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. After that, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Next, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. After that, 6 Goswamis. What are the names of the 6 Goswamis? Shri Rup, Sanatana Bhatt Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatt Das Raghunath. These are the 6 Goswamis. Now in this Guru Parampara, if I ask you, what is the educational qualification of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj? He never went to any school or college, never studied the Vedas. But who is his disciple? The greatest scholar of our times, that is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Now, how is it possible that a very intelligent, educated scholar, when he went to one of the All India Scholar Conference, they found the scholarship of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur so great that they washed his feet and took the feet washing water and sprinkled on everybody. 4,000 scholars from all over India, they said, Mere sir par dalo. That is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted an uneducated person as his spiritual master? Because Prema Bhakti jahan hoite avidya vinasha jayate. The ultimate purpose of studying the Vedic literature is to get Krishna Anubhuti or Krishna realizations. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is the proof that without being a scholar, you can have highest realizations in Krishna consciousness by rendering pure devotional service, as explained by the previous acharyas, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So these Vrajvasis, why I am bringing this point, that they may not have gone to the Gurukul, they may not have executed austerities, they may not have gone to Varanasi and read the various elements of Vyakaran and all those things. But simply because they were completely surrendered souls to Krishna, so the highest tattva was already there in their heart. Otherwise, how could Nand Maharaj defeat nullism, voidism, atheism, communism, Marxism, socialism, Stalinism, and all those things? And ultimately, when Krishna said, I want you to do Govardhan Puja because I like it, how they accepted it? That means they have this understanding that the purpose of life is to do what Krishna wants. Do you understand the exalted nature of the Vrajvasis? This is something which even Brahma cannot comprehend. And for the Vrajvasis, it's not a joke. What is the Yuga Dharma in Dwapar Yuga? Does somebody remember? Deity worship, puja. Hare Krishna. So in Kali Yuga, if you say, okay, you stop this puja, it is a normal thing. Because we are anyways looking for opportunity to stop our pujas. But in Dwapar Yuga, if you say, oh, you stop this puja, puja is their life and soul. And that too, this puja is being done as a family tradition, scientifically verified from thousands of years. And what is Krishna saying? Stop that. It's like Krishna coming and telling, stop chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra from now on. Something like that situation. Although Krishna will never say like this, but in Dwapar Yuga he said that. Because in Dwapar Yuga also the ultimate aim was to worship Krishna. But along with that, demigod worship was also going on. So these Vrajvasis, puja was their life and soul, their only occupation. They gave up this scientific family tradition of worshipping Indra for rain just to please Krishna. And then they asked Krishna only. Garg Muni was standing there and they asked Garg Muni how to worship. So Garg Muni said, see, Krishna has introduced this new Govardhan worship. So we should go to him only and ask. And then everybody is sitting in front of Krishna, whole village. Garg Muni is also sitting, and 7-year-old boy is giving Bhagavatam class, telling, okay, to worship Govardhan, first you have to make gobi pakoda, after that you have to make this pancake, and after that you have to make this butter. And he gave, in Bhagavatam, there's full description, all the items which Krishna said. All of you should go home, make these items, come with all your cows, keep your cows in front of you, and bring these items, and we will do a Govardhan parikrama, and then we will offer all this bhoga to Govardhan, and that's how we will do Govardhan puja. But before doing this Govardhan puja, my dear Nand Maharaj, satisfy these brahmanas, feed the cows, and decorate the cows very nicely. Go Brahmana hitaya cha. First take care of the cows, decorate them nicely, then give nice charity to the brahmanas, then make nice pakwan, nice foods for eating, bring it and offer it to Govardhan. To the letter, the Vrajvasis followed it. To the letter. And they decorated their cows, they gave in charity to the brahmanas, then they made everything which Krishna told, and then they have come. So to instill faith in the Vrajvasis, seeing the simplicity of their heart. See, simplicity attracts Krishna. The most simple person is Krishna, and he always likes to be surrounded by simple, wonderful devotees. And he does anything for them. So to instill further faith in this Govardhan Puja, Krishna manifested his face or his personality in the Govardhan. So when all the people are standing in front of Govardhan offering the bhoga to Govardhan, Krishna appeared there. And then everybody is like, we have seen this person somewhere. And then everybody is saying, hey, doesn't he look like Krishna? And how can he be Krishna? Krishna is standing here. He is just a cowherd boy. This is some demigod, some great deity. So no, he looks like Krishna. See his eyes, see his eyes, see his nose, see his nose, see his smile, see his smile. So others are telling, hey, you've gone crazy. Because you have meditated on Krishna whole day, whole night. So whomever you see, they look like Krishna to you. This is not Krishna, this is Govardhan. Just shut up, let's worship. Like that, the discussions are going on. And Krishna, in the Govardhan, he is acting very, very magnanimously. Udar. He is asking with a loud, thunderous voice. I forget the exact statement, but it is mentioned that I am Govardhan and I am very pleased by your worship. All of you are blessed by me, and he gives blessings. And then he asks, who made this gobi pakoda? And then they said, this person. Okay, so Bhagyavati Bhava. And then he ate. And then who made this halwa? Oh, yeah, very nice. And all the offerings which was done, he asked the names of people from which family, which house, which mother, which daughter has made, and he gave blessings to everybody. And just like all of you are smiling, everybody was like, yes, we have got blessings. So many years of Indra Puja and didn't get any personal blessing. But 1 year of Govardhan Puja got personal blessing. Definitely this Govardhan is definitely superior to Indra. Bada Devta hai. Krishna has done so nice. And after doing Govardhan Puja, they lifted Krishna on their shoulders and then they started dancing and came back to Vrindavan. But there was one person who became unhappy amidst all this. Can you guess who is that person? Sorry? It's Indra. How many of you would like to become an Indra in your next life? It's a great position, by the way. I don't want to make fun of Indra, but Indra is a very great personality. Whenever he gets into trouble, Krishna personally comes to help him. Krishna personally comes to help him. Whenever Indra performs any sacrifice, Krishna in the form of 400 form of Vishnu comes and personally accepts the offering sitting on Garuda. So he's not an ordinary person. However, sometimes this role of being a king or the role of being an administrator corrupts the mind. That is why everybody should regularly take association of sadhus to understand what is the real purpose of life. So Indra became angry that who is this person who's stopping my worship? These residents of Vrindavan, they have come into the talks of a small child who's not even 7 years old, and they have stopped a ceremony which is coming from ages. Then he called Samvartaka clouds. Samvartaka clouds are those clouds which are brought into action when the universe is about to be destroyed. You cannot imagine how much rain they will cause. Samvartaka clouds are sufficient to submerge the entire universe in water, universal inundation. There is something called as Samvartaka fire also, Samvartaka winds also. They are called only towards the end. So Indra became so angry that he summoned the Samvartaka clouds and he said that you go and destroy the village of Vrindavan. Samvartaka clouds, they asked, but what about the cows there? Indra was so angry that he said, kill all the cows also. Kill all the cows, kill all the men, let them realize what they have done. Just see, enviousness can make you a cow killer also. Personally, I'm not able to digest how Indra made its statement. King of all demigods, and in anger he's telling kill the cows also. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean that, but the Bhagavatam says that. Go and destroy all the villagers along with their cows. And then these Samvartaka clouds, they come and they start pouring water. And this kind of water is unimaginable water. It's like seeing the sky and seeing pillars of rain falling down. So much rain, it is destroying all the crops, it is flooding everybody's house, no more shelter for the cows, all the animals in the forest are disturbed. Everything is fully finished. Everybody can see that in the next 2-3 hours, everything will be finished. Nobody will remain alive. If this happens in your life or in our lives, what we will do? Suppose we observed the Janamashtami Vrata, which is equal to 20 crore Ekadashis. And the next day after Janamashtami, a great tsunami, which is 200 meter high, comes and breaks all the apartment communities. What will we do after that? We'll say to Krishna, because we did Janmashtami, so this happened. Correct, no? We'll lose our faith in Krishna. One of my friends, he lost his brother, and whenever I go to his house, his mother asks me the same question. अगर भगवान है तो उसने मेरा बेटा मुझसे क्यों ले लिया? If God is there, why did he take away my son? I was chanting Hare Krishna. Why he took away my son? I never did any sinful activity. Why he took away my son? Till now, his mother, every time she meets, she asks me this question. This is because of conditional nature. We don't have faith in the supreme intelligence of God. Sometimes even demigods become doubtful. When Hiranyakashipu was fighting with Narasimhadev, Narasimhadev was used to sometimes have fun and release Hiranyakashipu. At that time, the demigods used to start thinking, oh, what will happen? Looks like Hiranyakashipu will not die. Looks like he will not be killed. Oh, is he more powerful? Oh, what he will do to us now? Sometimes demigods also develop this doubting mentality. But not even single Vrajvasi went and told Krishna that because you asked us to stop doing the Indra Puja, as a result of that, Indra has become angry. As a result of that, the crops are destroyed, the cow shelters are destroyed, houses are destroyed, businesses are destroyed, milk is destroyed, butter is destroyed, we are destroyed. It's all because of you. Not even one person went and told this to Krishna. Instead, what they did was, when their degree of difficulties increased, they continued chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. And all of them somehow reached Nand Bhavan and made a proposal to Krishna that only you can save us now. So this is the difference between pure devotees, practicing devotees, and non-devotees. Pure devotees, they use every opportunity to intensify their Krishna consciousness. That was the statement of Vrajvasis. And for such simple, pure-hearted devotees, God lifts Govardhan. So when Krishna heard the appeal of everybody, he said, enough is enough. Time to teach Indra a lesson. And then he started running along with Balarāma and the other cowherd boys towards the Govardhana Hill. Torrential rain is happening, everything is getting destroyed. But when Krishna is running towards Govardhan, not even a single drop is falling, even on the peacock feather of his turban. And Indra is seeing that. He's like, how is it possible? He's running in torrential rain, he's not getting wet. Not only he, but Balarāma is also not wet. Nobody is getting wet. Even after seeing this, Indra didn't realize whom he is matching hands with. And then Krishna just goes and runs towards Govardhan, and just like a small child plucks, what is it called? Mushroom. Plucks a mushroom and throws up in the sky. Similarly, it is described that Krishna came, he lifted Govardhan, threw it up in the sky, and then handled it on the pinky or the small finger of his left hand. Sometimes I see photos of Krishna holding Govardhan with triceps, biceps, and six pack and all. That is again nonsense. Krishna does not need to have muscles to lift something. He is God. Krishna killed Putana when he was just 3 months old. He doesn't need muscles. Please understand this. Whenever I see photo of Narasimhadev with so many muscles, why do we sing Tavakara Kamala Vare? My dear Lord Narasimha, your hands are as soft as lotus flower. If I hit you with a blue color lotus flower, how you feel? You'll say, "Aur maro na, hit me again." So Lord Narasimhadev's hands are as soft as a lotus flower, but with those lotus flower-like soft hands, he ripped apart the stone-like chest of Hiranyakashipu. This is God. When you think that you have come in a place where you cannot understand anything, you should understand God is around. He is inconceivable. You cannot understand. That is God. How a 7-year-old boy counteracted the law of gravity, and without following the principles of center of gravity in physics, how he lifted an entire mountain, this only devotees can understand. So he lifted the Govardhan. And then he said, "Don't worry. Please come under this Govardhan and take shelter of this Govardhan." Now, for the next 7 days, the entire atmosphere was fully surcharged with pure devotional service. I mentioned in the beginning of my talk 2 things. That in this pastime, Krishna has experienced all the rasas. And I also mentioned that this pastime is very special to the devotees of Gandharvika and Giridhari. And I mentioned that towards the end of my talk, I'll tell you about it. Now that my talk is ending, I'll tell you about it. So there was a serious problem which the Vrajvasis were facing. Their constant complaint was, we don't get time from Krishna. The Gopas used to say that we get only in the daytime, but night time we are suffering because of separation from Krishna. They couldn't sleep at night. The friends of Krishna, if they would go to sleep, every hour they would wake up and check the clock. There was no clock, they would check the sky. Sometimes they would think that, okay, today the sun has decided not to rise, but it's time up. So suppose if they sleep at 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m., they'll again wake up at 10 p.m. and they'll go to Nandhavan. Krishna, it's time, let's go. And then somebody will come, hey, it's just 10 p.m. Let him sleep. Oh, sorry. Again, they'll go back. They'll sleep for some time. Again, 11 p.m. Krishna, it's time now. See, the cows are also waking up. Let's go. And again, Mother Yashoda will come out. Please let him sleep. It's only 11 p.m. Again, they'll come at 12. Again, they'll come at 1. So neither the friend slept, not the Mother Yashoda or none. Nobody used to sleep in Vrindavan, actually. Similarly, needless to say, even Krishna wouldn't sleep. Because in the night time, he was doing various pastimes with the gopis. And in the daytime, he was doing various pastimes with the gopas. So the gopis used to pray when Krishna used to go out for cow herding, no? That feeling which they used to have, yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravishyayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. When they used to see Krishna going away, they used to feel like, whether I'll be alive by when Krishna comes back or not, I don't know. And for them, one moment was like 12 years or more. You want to experience that? Go and sit on the hot tawa for 30 seconds. Sit there. Those 30 seconds will appear like 30 years to you. I'm just explaining in terms of relativity. So that much pain of separation, I'm just giving a material example, but we cannot explain the things which these gopis used to go through. They used to always remember the smiling face of Krishna, the discussions and the talks which he had with them, and the beautiful gestures which he used to make with his eyes, the way he used to play the flute, the way he used to joke with them, the way he used to hold their hands. He used to simply keep thinking the whole day about this. Similarly, the mothers, they used to keep thinking, oh, whether some monkey has scratched him or not, or whether some thorn has pinned him or not, or whether he has eaten or not, or whether he is drinking water or not. Similarly, the friends are thinking, where is Krishna? We have to go there. The trees are thinking, why is Krishna not coming? The Bhagavatam tells that the birds in Vrindavan, they were as good as sages. These gopis, they are glorifying the birds, that these birds must be definitely some sages. We see that they hold the branches of the trees very strongly and they close their eyes and sit for hours together with closed eyes, tears coming out of their eyes, listening to the flute of Krishna. This is the quality of Paramahamsas. Definitely, these are not birds, these are some great sages in the form of birds. And sometimes when they used to go deeper in samadhi, they used to fall down from the branches. But they used to not get hurt while falling down because in below the branch there is a puddle of water made out of their own tears. So the birds used to fall in their own tears. That was the situation of everybody. So everybody had this problem that we don't get time from Krishna. Now one day Krishna is sitting and he's thinking, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and looks like nobody is happy in Vrindavan. I am personally there, but everybody is telling that I'm not getting time, I'm not getting time. So let me do something so that this complaint goes away once for all. So Govardhan Leela is that incident. Gopis wanted to spend daytime with Krishna, Govardhan Leela. Gopas wanted to spend night time with Krishna, Govardhan Leela. The deers and the parrots wanted to spend full day with Krishna, Govardhan Leela. The trees wanted to get the smell of fragrance and the vision of Krishna full time, Govardhan Leela. So all the people got 24/7 association of Krishna, and everybody was thinking that Krishna is only looking at me and I'm only looking at Krishna. And every moment, newer and newer rasas they were experiencing. That is Govardhan Leela. Some examples which the acharyas mention are as follows. There is this cow which is constantly looking at Krishna, and Krishna can look at everybody at the same time. I don't know how he does it because he's God, so he does it. And the cow was seeing that Krishna is constantly looking at him, and the cow was like, so nicely he's lifting Govardhan. So let me go and give him some pleasure by rubbing my neck in his thigh. So the cow went and started rubbing the neck and licking the body of Krishna. And Krishna was like, this cow has come here. I should give my 100% to make this cow happy. So he's holding the Govardhan and then he's embracing the cow like this. And his hand is moving and the Govardhan is also moving. So people are like, hum log sab mar jayenge. Can you please stand straight? Now it is very difficult for Krishna to stand straight. He can't stand straight. He takes another incarnation as Ram to stand straight. But as Krishna, he is Tribhanga all the time. So in this way, he is reciprocating with the cows. Now Mother Yashoda is seeing, oh, this Krishna is all the time lifting. I'm taking things. I'm not able to feed him. 8 times a day I used to feed him. It's been 7 days, 7 nights. He has lifted Govardhan. 56 times I have not yet fed him. So when he keeps the Govardhan down, 56 times I will feed him. So that's where the concept of Chappan Bhog comes from. However, there was one gopi whose name was Srimati Radharani, who was in ecstasy because her desires came true. She wanted to spend full day with Krishna. And every time when she used to be around Krishna, she had to see whether someone is looking at me or not, whether my mother-in-law is there or not, or whether elders are there or not. And she was not able to express her full loving devotion. But here everybody is there in public. They have no other option other than looking Krishna. She is constantly looking at Krishna and then she is worshipping Krishna. And Krishna, when he saw the loving devotion with which she is worshipping, Krishna's heart started melting and his hands started shaking, seeing the devotional service of Srimati Radharani. And when Krishna's hands started shaking, Balaram is seeing this and he's understanding what's going on. But Mother Yashoda is thinking, my son is becoming weak out of this stretch of Govardhan. So she curses Govardhan. That Govardhan, you are becoming heavier on my son's finger. I curse you that if you behave like this, then by the power of my motherhood, you'll be burnt into ashes. Now she uttered this curse. Immediately Govardhan went 3 inches high in the sky. And Krishna was like, okay, I'll put my hand also high. Krishna personally did this to reciprocate with Mother Yashoda. So similarly, he's reciprocating with Yashoda, he's reciprocating with Nand Baba, he's reciprocating with the deer, reciprocating with the cows, he's reciprocating with Srimati Radharani and the other gopis and the friends also. Now Srimati Radharani understood the mind of Krishna because while holding Govardhan, he was dancing all the time. And the mountain was moving and people were like, Abhi main maruga ki abhi tum maroge. So Srimati Radharani understood that Krishna is in the mood to dance. So she started dancing for the pleasure of Krishna. And when everybody saw the dance of Srimati Radharani, they forgot everything else in the world. And when Srimati Radharani dances, she is called as Gandharvika. And Gandharvika dances only in the presence of Giridhari. So that's how the name of our deities Gandharvika Giridhari come. So those who are the servants of Gandharvika Giridhari, they have a very close relationship with Govardhan and Govardhan Leela. So there are many such pastimes which are happening, and so these friends of Krishna, the Krishna has to reciprocate with them also. So Acharya has mentioned that the friends of Krishna, there are various categories of friends of Krishna. There is one category of friend whose personal job description is to break the pride of Krishna. Now, how many of you think there is pride in the heart of Krishna? Look at that photo of Krishna washing the lotus feet of Sudama. How many of you think that Krishna is proud? Nobody thinks. There is no pride in Krishna's heart. But still, to give pleasure to Krishna, these friends go and break the pride of Krishna. They say, hey, don't think that you are lifting Govardhan. Don't think that you are very strong or smart. No, we know what you are doing here. We can see what's going on between you and Radharani, and we can see what you are doing here. So there is a statement which is mentioned in, not in Bhagavatam, but I learnt it from one of the residents of Vrindavan. They told me, so I'm going to recite that. Where is it? कछु माखन के बल बधो कछु गोपन कियो सहाय श्री राधे की कृपा से तूने गिरवर लियो उठाए. So these friends, they went and said, don't try to act smart. The butter which you have stolen from various houses, which is made by our mothers, because of that you have got the strength to do all this. So credit goes not to you but to our mothers, and because they are our mothers, credit goes to us. And don't think that you are lifting it alone. See, so many others are putting their sticks and they are also lifting Govardhan. Don't take the credit. Be a team player. Don't try to act smart. And ultimately, why you are able to stand from 7 days, we have understood. Constantly you are looking at Radharani. Constantly she is looking at you. In that bliss, you have forgotten the pain of lifting Govardhan. So the credit goes to Radharani, not to you. So this is the statements which they made. And Krishna was super happy when he heard these statements. When we offer Purusha Sukta prayers, when we offer, Krishna goes to sleep. But when he is treated like this by his friends, it's not that we should try to follow in these. These friends are most exalted personalities. They have utter devotion for Krishna. And they are doing this just to please Krishna. They don't actually feel that Krishna is not lifting over. This is a transcendental rasa. Don't try to copy it. You'll go to hell if you speak like this to Krishna. But Krishna got so much pleasure after this pastime. So he saw that my friends have become successful in crushing my pride. Now I should also crush the pride of my friends. He just removed his finger a little bit from Govardhan. And then the whole Govardhan started crumbling down and it started falling on the heads of these friends. And then they said, oh, sorry, we made a wrong statement. We take back our statement. And then Krishna now the score is equal. So in this way, he was reciprocating with everybody. So I gave a references how he's experiencing Shanta Rasa, Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, and Madhurya Rasa in one shot at the same time, immediately, simultaneously. That is God. So now I don't want to get into those details, how he taught Indra a lesson, how he broke the pride of Indra. That is, you can just read about it. And you have also seen little Krishna. So basically, Indra became frustrated after 7 days of Samvartika clouds, after thunderbolts, and nothing was happening to Govardhan because it was in touch with the hand of Krishna. Anybody who is in touch with Krishna can surpass the greatest pains and distresses, like Govardhan did. Thunderbolt coming, rains coming, but because he was in touch with Krishna, he didn't experience anything. Similarly, this material world is a miserable place, but if we are in touch with Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, we'll never experience any misery in our life. After Indra was taught a lesson, it was time to put the Govardhan down. And however, a very logical scientific question comes: where did the water go? 7 days of Samvartika clouds raining. Where did the water go? It is protected by Govardhan, but ultimately the water has to go and settle down somewhere. It should have flooded the whole universe by now. So again, there are two references given in the scriptures. One reference is Krishna employed his Sudarshan Chakra to move in great speed all around Govardhan and dry up the whole water. This is one reference. Just like when something is wet, we switch on the fan. Another reference comes in the case of another pastime of Kumbhaj Rishi. So at one point of time, Mother Parvati, she decided that we should have a house. For your information, Lord Shiva, whom everybody worships, has no house. Everybody worships Lord Shiva, give me a house. 4 BHK, 3 BHK, 1 crore, this EMI, that EMI. No, very rarely someone goes to Lord Shiva with a desire to progress in bhakti for Lord Krishna. Most of them, they go with material desires. But the person who fulfills all material desires has no house himself. He sits under a tree in Kailash. And his wife is the material energy, Maya Devi, Durga. Somehow she convinced that, see, we should have a house. Not good. So Lord Shiva said, but why you want to get into all this? Having a house of your own is the greatest illusion, do you know? Having a house of your own is the greatest illusion which you can have. These statements of Lord Shiva. Let's not get into this EMI culture and purchase houses from here and there. This is what Lord Shiva instructed. But Mother Parvati said, no, we should take EMI and we should take a house. So what to do? Family problems are there in Kailash also. He said, okay, theek hai, let's make a house. So when the house was made, then came requirements. Grih Pravesh needs to be done. This worship needs to be done. This yajna needs to be done. This party needs to be held. We need to call saintly people and feed them also. I'm not sure, like, start ho gaya ghar grihasthi. And he was like, do whatever you want. And then she said, okay, at this date, I'm going to invite all the sages to come to my house and I'll feed them. And one of the sages was Kumbhaj Rishi. The problem with Kumbhaj Rishi was that he used to eat once in 4 yugas. So when he used to start eating, there was no limit. So he came down, all the sages were eating, they were going. Kumbhaj Rishi was not getting up only. They were serving him. Then they realized there's no need of spoons, we have to serve from bucket only. And then buckets after buckets are getting over. And at one point in time, the whole food of Kailash is over. Annapurna Devi, Mother Parvati, is thinking how to satisfy Kumbhaj now. So she went to Lord Shiva. Aisa problem ho gaya hai. What to do now? Lord Shiva said, who asked you to make a house? I told you not to do this. Now you deal with it. It's your problem. You are Annapurna. No? You deal. He said that, see, the 4 Kumaras are here. Kuvera is here. I'm going with them in that place. I have my 64 rounds japa retreat happening. And literally Lord Shiva left, left the situation and he went for chanting 64 rounds. And he was sitting and chanting and discussing Bhagavatam. And Mother Annapurna is like always, my husband has left me and has gone there. Now what to do? So she prayed to Lord Krishna that now only you can save me. Immediately Lord Krishna came there in the form of a small baby Brahmana boy, almost like the Vamana. And he knocked at the door. And he said that I'm hungry, I want to eat something. Mother Parvati said, already I'm in a very bad situation, but theek hai, you also come, eat something. So whatever 2-3 grains of rice and sabzi and dal and whatever was there, she gave. And Kumbhaj Rishi is looking at Krishna's plate and he's telling, oh, you eat only that much. Krishna said, yes, this much is enough for me. I'm not like you. And then he started eating. And after eating a little bit only, he washed his hand. So there is a Vedic culture that if a group of people are sitting and eating, if one of them washes the hand or gets up, everybody should get up. So Kumbhaj Rishi was like, who asked you to wash your hand? You couldn't have washed it outside. So he said, no, see, I washed my hand. I'm a small child. I do not understand Vedic culture, Vedic etiquettes. Now that I washed it, you also get up. So in this way, he took Kumbhaj Rishi out of the house of Lord Shiva, and the problem was solved. Then another problem came. When you invite saintly people, after feeding them, you have to give them charity also. So he went to Lord Shiva. I've eaten in your house, now give me some charity. Lord Shiva was like, I give you that house in charity, take it. That is no longer my house. So he gave his house in charity, and again he came under that Kailash tree. This is Lord Shiva. This is a true story, by the way. However, as both Krishna and Kumbhaj Rishi are coming down the Kailash, Kumbhaj Rishi is asking, you didn't let me eat properly, at least let me drink properly. I need some water. Krishna said, don't worry, when the right time will come, I will summon you, you can drink as much as you want. So in the Govardhan Leela, he summoned Kumbhaj Rishi. And he said that you sit at the foothills of Govardhan and drink as much water as you want. So it is said that all the Samvartika cloud water was drank by Kumbhaj Rishi. So in this way, all the water was evaporated and drank by Sudarshan and Kumbhaj Rishi together. So with this, we come to the end of this Govardhan Leela. Nobody can say why the Govardhan Leela happened. If someone says that, okay, for this reason it happened, if somebody is saying like that, my obeisances to them, but at least I cannot say why Krishna does what. If anybody can say, I understand the Putna Leela, I must say that that person is in ignorance. There's no limit to the discussion and the various spiritual angles which can be there in any pastime of Krishna, whether it's lifting Govardhan or whether it is doing the Kaliya Leela or whether it is doing any pastime. So one of the reasons of lifting Govardhan is to crush the pride of Indra. Another reason of lifting Govardhan is to establish the culture of Krishna Ek Sharanam. Another reason of lifting Govardhan is to give 24/7 association to all Brajvasis. Another reason of lifting Govardhan is to taste all the rasas together. There is another secret reason of lifting Govardhan, which is not the last, not the least, but one of the reasons. So there are two groups of gopis. One is the Radharani group and one is the Chandravali group. Both of them are pure devotees, like Radharani. However, the mood of Chandravali is different. Chandravali manifests herself as Rukmini in Dwarika. So these are those group of gopis who are completely submissive to Krishna. They don't ask anything from him, they just serve him, like Mother Rukmini. The Chandravali is like that. So on the other side of Govardhan, Chandravali used to stay. And Lord Krishna used to daily go and meet Chandravali also and spend time with Radharani also. So Govardhan once blackmailed Krishna. Let's see, you are going there and coming back. Your footprints are there all over me. It's a proof that you are going there also. I don't think this secret will remain a secret for very long. And Srimati Radharani will come to know, Chandravali will also come to know. Actually, both of them, they know already. But then Krishna will fall in trouble. So Krishna said, yes, you are pointing out a serious problem. You know what? 7 days from now, I'll make a situation where I'll give a good bath to Govardhan, via which all my footprints will be removed from everywhere. Then there's no proof. And when there's no proof, there is no accusation. So after this conversation with Govardhan, Krishna arranged for this, Indra becoming angry and some Vartika clouds coming. So the Acharyas say one of the main reasons of lifting Govardhan is to remove the proofs that Krishna is going here and there and everywhere. So like this, there are so many reasons. If you read various scriptures, you'll more and more, rise in love with Krishna by understanding this Govardhan pastime. I hope by hearing this Govardhan Leela, your desire to go to Vrindavan and your desire to do Govardhan Parikrama and your desire to read the pastimes of Krishna has increased more. And I hope by reciting this Govardhan pastime, my heart, which is like a stone, has melted a little bit so that I can sincerely chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. We end our discussion by chanting one prayer in the glory of Sri Giriraj Govardhan, who is the best amongst the servants of the Lord. Please repeat with me. Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki Jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. This brings to the end of this discussion. However, I need another few minutes to make some quick announcements. By the way, anybody has any questions? Where is our Prabhu? He should be here. He should end the mobile live. Does it happen in every class that the speaker only has to say, start the class, end the class? I think that part should be cut, huh?